Okay guys, this is just a little tutorial about how to run the F19. Um, I'm going to show you the first thing. An important thing to know is how to reset it to factory defaults. And you may see me do this 2 or 3 times during this video, because it's faster sometimes just to start over and make adjustments than to try to undo some of your adjustments. So the way to do that is you push and hold the menu button, and you turn the machine on, release the menu button, and then it'll be at factory defaults. So the next thing you'll want to do is find a piece of clean ground by either holding the pinpoint button down, sweeping your coil over your ground till you find an area that's quiet, or you can turn your machine to the all metal mode and sweep over the ground until you find a area that's quiet. And once you do, then we're going to ground balance, and we need to always ground balance in the all metal mode. So you cannot ground balance in the disc mode. And I don't know if you can see that on video, but in the disc mode it will not ground balance. But the great thing is, once you ground balance it in the all metal mode, it carries over to the discrimination mode. So we'll put both dials at 12 o'clock, and then once you're over the clean ground, then you push the ground grab button and you bob the coil from about 1 inch to 6 inches above the ground, up and down. And it only takes about 3 bobs and it's set. And I'm just going to use a coin actually and kind of mimic the ground. So I'm going to hold the button in, and I'm just waving this coin over. And see, once these two numbers get pretty close, then you release the button. So you'd release the button. So we'd ground balanced it 39.3. Once you do that, if you want to hunt in the all metal mode, you can go ahead. This is your threshold button too, your adjustment, and this is your gain, this is your power. And so you can see your power going up right here. So, and then you run your threshold up. If you're going to hunt in this mode, you're going to pick up every single thing, tiny, large, deep, with all the same tone. So here we've got a dime, and this picks up a lot farther than it will ID, and it'll actually ID in the all metal mode, but it doesn't give you a number. This is the ground phase number. But if you look up here, if the coin or the object's in range to give you an ID number, it'll be up here on top of the speedometer. See that? So that was a dime. We'll do a nail. See, it's down here in the iron. On this detector and a lot of detectors, they have 0 to 40 is iron. So the factory thinks iron is 40 and below. Above 40 is non-ferrous. We're going to go over the discrimination mode because it's the most confused, and it's got a lot more going on than the all metal mode. Like if you're going to coin hunt or even relic hunt, you'll probably be using the discrimination mode. If you're going to be looking for gold nuggets, then you would be up in the all metal mode. But anyway, went ahead and turned it back down to the discrimination mode. I'm going to turn the power, which is the gain, to about, I don't know, 26. It doesn't matter. So right now we're accepting all notches, iron through non-ferrous 100, and we can check that by scrolling through. See, we've got everything in dark black is accepted. If you see any segment in dark black or gray, it's accepting. So what we're doing is we're accepting nails. This large square nail is coming in at 28, thereabouts, 25, 28. So in reality, probably about 30 or below is ferrous. But just to make sure that you're not going to get much ferrous, I believe they put the number up to 40. And then we have a nickel. It usually rings in about 57 to 58. And then we have pull tab. They're usually in the 60s. Dime. That's a clad dime. It's 82. Here's a silver mercury dime. It's usually 83. Quarter, 86. Here's a piece of foil. Foil usually comes in about 35 to 45. And here's a lot smaller piece of foil. It's 42. So that'll give you kind of a range. Okay guys, let's go over the volume. We're going to reset it, and we're going to check out the volume here. The factory default for volume is 7. Right there. What does that mean? Well, on setting 7, that means the non-ferrous is set at 7 intensity and the ferrous is at 7. And you can see that the highest setting you can have on ferrous or non-ferrous is 10 and 10. And the volume is a little confusing. It took me a while to get my head wrapped around it. But basically, when you have your setting at 1, your non-ferrous and ferrous is at 1. At setting 2, it's a little louder, both ferrous and non-ferrous move up in intensity equally until you get to the setting 10. At setting 10, the non-ferrous is as loud as it's going to be, but the ferrous, you can't hear it. And on this detector, the factory says ferrous is 40 or below, so anything that hits in 40 or below is going to be silent. So, but you have adjustments, settings above that. Remember now, 10 is the highest setting that you can get for ferrous or non-ferrous. So at 11, your non-ferrous is still 10, and it stays that level all the way to 20. But your ferrous is now increasing. So if you like a loud non-ferrous tone, but a medium ferrous tone, that would be setting a 5. If you like to hear ferrous and non-ferrous at its highest setting, then you would put it at 20. And to keep this straight, at a setting of 16, 10 of that is the non-ferrous and 6 is a ferrous. So 10 plus 6, of course, is 16. So that's one way of keeping it straight in your head. So I just wanted to touch on that. And also, whenever you turn the machine off and turn it back on, all your settings are saved except your ground balance. So every time you turn the machine off or on, you need to re-ground balance. All your other settings will stay the same. Now if you're going to set this up for coin shooting, especially if you're going to cherry pick your coins, if a lot of people don't even want to dig nickels, so what you would do is you would just push the plus button, and whenever the detector is in the disk mode and nothing's showing on the screen, that means you can adjust the discrimination. And so you would push the plus button, and it only goes up to 80, but at 80 you get dimes, copper pennies. Here's a zinc penny. You don't get it because the zinc penny comes in around 77, 78. So you've eliminated that. You've also eliminated your nickel. And the old trusty nail is eliminated. So you say, well, I really like to dig nickels, but I don't want to dig zincs. So we've already got it set up to 80. So we're not getting zincs, but we're not getting any nickels, so we want some nickels. Okay, we're gonna scroll through till we see notch width. We got notch width, and we're gonna make it 5. You can make it whatever you want, from 1 to 20. But we're going to make it 5 because we're going to make a little nickel notch window. Now we're going to, once we get it to 5, here's another thing. After 3 seconds the screen goes blank. That doesn't mean your settings aren't saved, but it just means you have to push the menu and go back through the menu to get to your setting you were adjusting. So let's do that again. Menu. Notch width is 5. We push notch again, and it's the position of the notch. So we're going to move this notch, and we're going to, let's put it at 54. So we're going to accept 55, 56, 57, 58, and 59, right in where a nickel comes in. So if you want to see what your screen looks like, you push here till you get to the V break, and it always shows you what your whole discrimination pattern is. So we're accepting a little nickel notch, and we're accepting 80 and above. So we should just get the nickels and high conductors. So now we got the nickel. We're hitting the nickel. Are we getting the pull tab? No. Square tab? No. Because those fall into this range here, and so we've eliminated those. So right here, I want to show you that right here all the segments are dark black. That means all those are high tones. But you say, well, I want my nickel to be a low tone. Well, we can do that too. So we'll do that with the V break. We come to the V break, and we're going to raise the V break and turn these segments gray. You see them turning gray? Any segment that's gray is low tone. So now our nickel sounds low. Our high conductors are high. So that's one way of setting up a little trashy park coin program, and I use that quite a bit. You'd be surprised how many nickels you'll grab, and this machine runs really quiet. I mean, you're not hearing any iron, you're not hearing any tabs. You can just go by audio, And anything that beeps, you dig in this range. It's such a tight little pattern. Anything that beeps or even tries to beep, you want to dig. So let's set up another little hunt pattern. So I'll turn it off. We're going to reset, and we'll start over. Right now, we're accepting all targets, all at high tone. Okay, so a nail, high tone, quarter, high tone. But you say, man, I don't want to be looking down at the meter all the time. I want to know when I hit a ferrous or non-ferrous target. So we go to the V break again, and we raise that, say, to 35. So anything gray is low tone. From 35 down is low tone. From 36 up is high tone. So now we have the nail, low tone. Anything up higher than 35 is a high tone. Now that's another way to hunt with this. You may hunt this way because you want to hear the iron, but you might want to hear the iron and not dig any pull tabs. So let's eliminate the pull tabs. We're going to do that with a notch. So we will go to the notch, and we're going to make the notch width 20, and then we're going to move that notch up, and you see how it's a reject notch, and so we're going to move that notch up to 60. So anything between 60 to 80 will not, it won't accept that. So we know that this comes in the 60s. So we got nothing. This tab, nothing. But we still have the nickel, and we can still hear the iron. So that's another way of setting it up. In closing, I just want to say that this is one of the most accurate ID machines I've ever ran. You don't get a jumpy target unless there's just a bunch of trash around your target, and even at that you still get a pretty good reading. A nickel's not going to jump 20 numbers, nor will a quarter jump 20 numbers, even with a lot of trash around it. I'm just amazed how accurate it is. And so we got it. We'll have a nail here, and I'll put the nickel on it. You see how close that is? I mean, this is with a nail. If you did that with another detector, that number would be all over. But you know, it's not. You have a nickel with some foil. 57. Put foil on this side. 57. Other machines have a lower conductor next to a higher conductor. It tries to mix them, or it jumps around, but this machine's pretty much rock solid. So you know, if you're cherry picking, or you want to have some confidence in your machine, then the F19 will do it. Same as the Goldbug Pro and the G2, but they all have an uncanny accuracy about them as far as ID number, and I would assume it's because they're all dual processors. But anyway, if you want to give the F19 or G-Tier Gold Bug Pro a try at coin shooting, I think you're going to be surprised just how stable it is. I mean, I'm in my basement right now, and I'll turn it up to 100%, and it's just a little jumpy. But outside, I hardly ever have to run it below maximum gain. So you guys need to give this machine a look. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, just post them. I'll try to answer them.